And hello, future champions! Here we are today, looking at my third game of the Prague Chess Festival. I'm here with the one and only Starman Chess. Go and see his videos. Say hello to the fans.
Hello.
So, here we are, we were playing against a German player. International master, very strong player. So, I had prepared for about 2 hours to play against e4,
Was it worth?
c5. It was absolutely not worth it. Time useless. Down the drain, as you say. So he went with the Caro-Kann. Thankfully, I have my repertoire against the Caro-Kann, so I had something in mind. He goes d4, I go d4, I beg your pardon, d5, take, c4. The pan of attack.
I give you the presidential power.
Of course.
Of course.
Chess is simple, gives you permission. What do you think about this opening, Starman Chess?
It's roughly simple to play if you know the structure. It's important to know the structure more than the
Yes.
theory. You can attack EP, it's nice. That's a solid pawn. You attack in the middle game, you don't want to exchange pieces, you try to attack the king. It's nice to play opening against strong players, because you obviously not taking this position, but just to show you something like this. You sometimes can play for d5
And
this
it,
kind of position, and this liquidates pawn structure,
Yeah.
and just gets equal
Symmetrical situation.
Yeah.
And also in IQP positions generally, if you go d5, you're actually better with white,
Yeah,
very
actually,
often.
yeah, absolutely.
So okay, black does not take because he would be giving away time. Time is very important in chess. He goes knight f6, which is normal, knight c3, and he goes g6. This already is a choice. For example, one line, which leads to a draw, I'm not sure I would have played this, but it is on the table, is this one. Quite well-known draw. I have an idea here as well, which is very interesting for white, but I won't be saying it till the end of the tournament. Here there is a long line, which isn't really relevant, but just to show you, I studied my stuff. Knight takes d4, bishop. You know this line? You've probably
I know
seen
it.
it. It's famous. King e7, queen takes, queen d7, and this leads to a roughly equal endgame. Anyway, so that's why he maybe avoided playing knight c6. It is very difficult to play when you are the stronger player on paper. I remind you, my opponent outrates me of 350 points, which in chess lingo means that if you draw, you're losing about how many points, human calculator? About
350, 35, 34 for me. I've kept 40.
so
27
a bucket load of points. It's a must-win situation. g6, queen b3, also book move, bishop g7, c takes d5. The strategy white is going to play for is holding on to the pawn as long as possible, fishing for a concession on the black side. We will talk about what that concession could be shortly. Okay, so he goes castles, bishop e2. This is a plan to keep the pawn. He goes knight b6, and I go knight e2. He goes bishop g4, I take, and I castle. This is a slightly imprecise move. You might remember Starman Chess's video where he castles and the position goes downhill. It's not that bad, but it was more precise to go a4. And here we go into the concession. a5, for example, is a small concession because it weakens this square, which is actually not important, but
How
it
small
weakens.
is this?
Not that small because it leaves the piece undefended. It leaves b7. It's a weakening move for black, and also this could become a target one day. If I go bishop d2, then maybe you have a target on the queen side to hit. It was a good inclusion. I didn't play this because I didn't know this position exactly. First of all, study your openings, not like me. and I wasn't sure about knight f6, knight f4, and believe it or not, g5. Now, when I look at it now, I think, what is g5? Obviously, because this is a big concession by black. Again, he will get back his pawn, but he will have had to play g5, which is an extremely weakening move.
And you even get the pawns. I mean, knight 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's not at all ideal.
And then knight
So,
3 you get.
yes.
Y score, so.
Castle, knight f, queen d7. All right. I go h3, knight f6, knight f4, rook d8, and rook e1. Here I had an interesting idea. He goes rook e8. He can take d5, but he is playing into my hands. Because at this point I just exchange everything. And even against someone as bad as me, here it will be very difficult to win. Here I thought maybe rook takes d4, and I just planned
I
on
mean,
going.
even you're the one trying to win.
Yeah, I planned on just going like this,
Maybe.
going rook d1. I thought, and just leaving him this pawn, but saying,
You got on.
"All right, bro. All right, bro. I have these two."
Yeah.
And how can I lose a position like this? It's unthinkable.
Yeah.
And maybe it's even him. It's even him who has to be careful. So okay, he doesn't do this. So he goes rook e8. I go d6. You might be thinking, what is d6? Why are you throwing away a pawn like this? But there is an idea that if queen takes d6, I have incredible move knight e6.
Wow.
This is an
That's
empty
good,
square sacrifice. Empty square sacrifice. So, here if he take, okay, rook c8 is the best move, only move, very difficult to find. If he takes, just for the audience, rook takes, and I have a deadly diagonal on his king. Let's say he takes this pawn, various ways to win, but a simple one is rook e4, pick up the queen, because it is check. Okay. So up to now, would you say it's gone to plan?
Pretty fair for black white. Yeah.
Normal position, you shouldn't be too
normal.
scared.
The only thing e4, e5 is a very good inclusion. For
Yes.
white. That's the only thing you can say about it wrong. But all the other things, just good. I mean, move 16, just one slight mistake. It's not that bad.
Yeah, so he takes with a pawn, bishop e3. Should have been played. I played bishop d2, which is slightly imprecise. Here white has to sort of find some sort of small plan and put his pieces on the right squares. They say if you put your pieces on the right squares, you're just a good chess player. Just need to put your pieces on the
chess is
right
all
squares.
about,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly. So bishop d2 is imprecise. He goes d5, of course. Just to give you an idea, the best move for the computer here might be bishop e3, even. So he really doesn't like this bishop there. Rook d1, alright, I'm bringing a rook to the center, it can't be terrible. Queen f5, which it marks with a dubious move marking, but in my opinion, it seems like a very logical move. It stops my knight d3, it stops my queen from coming into the game. And it's just a move. So I went queen b5, which is fine, trying to get the queen back into the game, pressuring e8. Also there are some tricks involving taking on d5 and the rook on e8 is hanging sometimes. He goes h5, which is a good move. And here I make a terrible move, which is rook e5. It's only marked as a dubious move, but really it is tough. No reason to give up a pawn. Here we were analyzing last night with
c1 is
Starman Chess, and we just thought, bring your bishop back, and knight e4, and you just play a4. No reason to give up a pawn. No reason whatsoever. So I go rook e5. Sorry, here. I tilted a bit. I have to say I tilted a bit. Rook takes, pawn takes. And here he plays well, he goes knight
just the brain
e4.
gives up in chess.
Yeah.
It's very
Absolutely stupid. Knight e4, bishop e3. And here he went bishop takes e5, which is the best move. There was a very interesting line with d4. I would have had to find e6. only move. And now if not the simplest move. I had it in mind, but it's difficult to make it work. Okay, I take, and go knight e6, and more or less here it is. We will say roughly equal after the simplifications. Both sides have something to play for. I can even, no, maybe playing to win is a bit too much because I can't really move my rook, so.
Yeah, Black's the one maybe trying to win, but.
Yeah, but I'm solid. I block the entries, and even if we go into
how can you win this?
If we go into a rook end game, it's not that easy. So okay, he goes bishop takes c5. I go knight takes c4. He goes queen takes c4, and I go bishop takes b6. My idea, take and have the strong central knight. Problem is that I am suffering a pin a bit. And also his bishop is strong. Plus, my king has a few problems. It risks getting back ranked. So this position is already difficult, I would think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but how can you make any progress? Your opponent has some.
Yeah, he has improving moves. I don't. Yeah. That's a very important thing in chess.
King G7 is a very good improving move.
King G7, yes. Also, it gets out of.
How can you get rid of pin with the consequences on the second line?
Yeah. In fact, computer starts suggesting some strange moves like King F1, which.
You get rid
it's
of
not
it,
super easy. Yeah, I get my king.
Yeah, it makes sense once you saw why, but it's
also,
not an easy move to make in the game.
I was suffering quite a serious time deficit here. So I go queen b3, just trying to defend everything. He goes queen e2, and now he's putting pressure. Here, now that I look at it, rook b1 looks quite normal. Simple idea is, black does not have many. We can try to improve his position, but most importantly, I get out of the pin while defending the pawn. Instead, I was playing.
Just rook c8, knight e3, you get rid of c2. Three of c2. So it could be nice.
Could be nice, yes.
Not that bad, not fine, that fine free, but.
Went knight e3 with seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
Now this is very tough. He takes, I take, he takes. I go knight c4, I'm just trying to survive. And simplifying into an endgame. Here I go g4. It is important to enhance my drawing chances to exchange as many pawns as possible. So g4 is correct. King f6, he activates his king. I go king g2, king e6, knight d2. I try to cut off his king for a bit.
What's your positional goal in this position?
Pardon?
What's your positional goal in this position? What you want to do?
I want to exchange more pawns.
Okay.
I want to exchange.
We're just trying to get to move 40, then I think.
Exactly.
Or yeah.
First of all, we get to move 40. Okay. First of all, then we think. But it is tough. King f3, b5, knight e4, bishop e5, which is a mistake. This allows. Okay, king c4 is good actually because the only move that keeps winning chances alive, more or less. f4. Now I get a bit of space. Bishop b8, and now we are on move 39. So 2 more moves before I get my additional 30 minutes.
Why f5 is so strong here?
f5 is strong because we try and exchange pawns. What I didn't understand in the game is what would happen after king d5, which is also not good, by the way. Here bishop e5 has to be played, alright. Knight g5, f6. And what would happen here simply, right? Knight e6, king e5. And now computer says after a move like king d3, we have some chance of holding. I looked at it a bit more here, and this is actually a table-based draw. This is understandable because now I look at it, it is easy to understand. You go knight d4, king e2, knight f3.
Yeah,
you block the pawn on the right square, and there's no progress.
I mean, you can even take the pawn.
Yes, being a bit careful, you can.
Yeah, but you have the a pawn.
Yes.
Just exchange that. So.
Yes, that is true. But okay, he has some more tries, like king e5, king d3, not king f5, just waiting. Okay, so this was my only chance, but on move 39 it is not easy. So let's go back to the game. I go knight g5, which is the losing mistake in the end. He goes f5. I take, go knight e6. King c3, good move. Trying to pick up this pawn, and then it will be very tough. Still, I thought I had some chance in the game. King e2, king b2, knight f5.
It's interesting how one square difference make all the difference.
Yes.
Between a5 and a4.
Yeah. And in the end, I lose for one move. Knight d6, b4 only move, obviously. Keeping the pawn, king d3, or I here I'm just desperate. b3, knight c4, b5, knight d2, b2, king c2, bishop e3, knight bishop e3, alright, finished. Here I resign simply because he's threatening to exchange my piece. If I just go knight b1, he will go b4 and b3 with checkmate soon after. So, tough game.
Are you satisfied in any way with this game, or you can do better in the end game? You should not play rook e5. What's the move you complain
I'm
about?
a bit disappointed about rook e5, honestly, because it is a panic move. Because there are various sort of mistakes in chess. Like, there are mistakes you make because you don't know how to play chess well enough. There are technical mistakes, but there are mistakes which are also caused by mental issues. Rook e5 is a panic move, which is mostly caused by mental issues, which need to be worked on. Instead, something I can say I'm very happy about, actually, is to not have given up overway. I was trying to pose a maximum resistance, and I almost managed to hold. I mean, maybe if I had more time and had found f5, maybe this would have been a miracle save. Maybe.
What a save.
Big maybe. It would have been, yes, very good content. But alas, tournament goes on. I am on 1.5 out of 3, and tomorrow I will be playing German player. So, stay tuned for the next recaps, and go and see Starman's Chess recaps and channel. Bye!
Bye from Prague.